Well, good morning, sleepyhead. Gah! Oh no, not again. Yes, again. Alright, what movies do I have the pleasure of reviewing for you this time? Oh, nothing much this year, but we will be starting off with a sugary treat.
No! Attack of the Killer Tomatoes! Attack of the Killer Tomatoes! They'll beat you, bash you, squish you, mash you, chew you up for brunch, and finish you.
Greetings, travelers. I'm your host, the C. that knows a lot, Dr. Waluigi. Well, seeing as I'm back in hell, it's time to take a look at some of the worst pieces of garbage that the human race has ever produced. With that being said, the first movie that I have been forced to review is a monster movie that I wish wasn't real, but alas, we must venture forward. This is Attack of the Killer Donuts.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes! Attack of the Killer Tomatoes!
The movie was directed by Scott Wheeler and written by Nathan Dalton, Chris DeChristopher, and Raphael Diaz-Wagner. These four people are only known for working as writers and production designers on very low-budget movies. Hell, the only credit I could find on them was that Scott Wheeler was the director of the second Transmorphers movie. Which means that this movie is going to hurt my brain on a level of stupidity that has only been scraped with the last year's terrible movies.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes! Attack of the Killer Tomatoes!
The movie follows a small town as they have to stop an invasion of killer donuts that were created through unspecific chemicals. Can the townspeople stop the sugary frosted terrors, or will they be overcome by the evil pastries? You know, it takes a special kind of mental state to not burst out laughing after that description.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes! Attack of the Killer Tomatoes!
I was surprised that the actors in this movie did a decent job with what they were given. The only actors I feel didn't give it their all were the main character, the two cops, and the crazy uncle who creates the formula that creates the killer donuts. Which is a shame since one of the cops is played by C. Thomas Howell, who is one of my favorite actors. But I guess he was just doing this as a way to kill time and for a paycheck.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes! Attack of the Killer Tomatoes!
For a low-budget movie, the special effects aren't half bad. Okay, they aren't as good as some other low-budget horror movies, but for 2015, they're better than something from the Sci-Fi Channel. I feel like the monsters in this movie were the best and only good part of the movie, as they have such great personality and the great over-the-top sound effects that are put into their movements. Which is disappointing for how close this movie could have been one of the great so bad it's good movies.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes!
The biggest reason why this movie misses the mark is because of the writing. I feel like the writers tried to do something close to the Return of the Killer Tomatoes in terms of comedy and writing style, and instead the movie becomes cliché and unoriginal, with many of the scenes being copied from other more popular low-budget horror movies. On top of that, the massive amount of gross-out humor just put me off near the end of the movie, as I'm not the biggest fan of gross-out humor.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes! Attack of the Killer Tomatoes!
If it weren't for the fact that this was a ripoff of Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, this movie could have been a decently entertaining low-budget movie, but is instead a subpar horror comedy with too much gross-out humor for my taste. I give this movie a 6 out of 10. For this type of a movie, I can only recommend it to those who would want to see a similar movie of this kind. Well, thanks for watching. I'm Dr. Waluigi, and remember, don't judge a book by its cover, cause you'll never know what's inside. Good night, everyone.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes! Attack of the Killer Tomatoes! They'll beat you, bash you, squish you, mash you, chew you up for brunch.
Well, I hope that was satisfactory for you. So what's next?
You won't be so sarcastic after you see what I've got planned for you. Ah!
You hear the screeching of an owl, you hear the wind begin to howl.